So let's go ahead and check in with Dean Tim Carroll as he talks with Randi Holguin about her experiences at the Eberhart School of Business at Pacific. Welcome, Dean Carroll.
Hello. Not sure if you can see me. The camera's coming up here in a second. So what I wanted to do is start off by introducing myself and Randi. I'm Tim Carroll, Dean of the nationally ranked Eberhart School of Business. I'm joined by Randi. Why don't you let us know who you are?
Hi, everyone. My name is Randi. I'm a fourth year business student, so I graduate this year. My concentration is in entrepreneurship, and I'm really happy and excited to be here.
All right, thanks. So Randi, we get to share a bit about your experience and let people know what you've been up to while you've been at Pacific as they're thinking about making their college choices. When you were back at that stage and you were thinking about where you wanted to go, how did you end up picking Pacific?
Well, I'm actually in the community involvement program. I'm a local Stockton resident as well as a first generation low income college student. So I qualified for the program. I also chose Pacific because I really like the small class sizes, especially in the business school. As you can see in my background behind me, this is one of our larger rooms, but it's still pretty small. And I really liked that when I was touring the campus.
Yeah, so as Randi's pointing out, the class sizes, the building, actually, the largest classes we have in the business school are 35 students. And so we are literally capped at anything higher than that. Most of the classes are probably closer to half that size that we have in the business school. So what has your experience been like in the classroom, kind of on the academic side? And then in a second, I'll ask you what you've been up to outside the classroom.
Yeah, so academically, I really enjoy at the Eberhart School of Business that we do a lot of hands-on experiential learning. So I actually just entered a contest for entrepreneurship as well as engineering students. I mean, it's open to every kind of student, but it's called the PIES competition, where it's I forget the name of it, but product innovation, something like that, where we created a product, and mine was a self-watering plant pot that expands with your plant. And my partner and I actually took second in that competition. So it was really awesome. We worked really hard all semester on this project in our classes. And it turned out really well. So that was an awesome time or experience that I had there. And when I was a sophomore, so I'm an upperclassman being able to participate, but when I was a sophomore, I participated in the Shark Tank competition, and I came up with a card holder pop socket idea that also took second place. So that was a pretty cool experience as well.
Very cool. So what Randi is highlighting is we have what we call the Pacific Entrepreneurship Network, which is the set of things that we do across campus. It's the business school is very much involved with it, but it's not just a business school thing. We have students from across campus, really, literally all the different areas, undergrads, grad students, even alumni who participate. And then the Pacific Innovation and Entrepreneurship Summit is what we call PIES. That's kind of the pitch competition. We just had that about 2 weeks ago, and I think we've got some videos of that available that we'll be showing a bit later on. So one of the reasons why I asked Randi to be with us is that she's also been super active outside the classroom, and she's been involved with a lot of different things. Why don't you tell us about that?
Sorry, I think my internet connection was bad. It kind of cut you up a little bit. Would you mind repeating the question?
Sure. Sorry about that. It might have been on my side. I don't know. I was saying that you've been also very active outside the classroom and involved with a lot of different things across campus. Why don't you tell us a bit about that side?
Oh, yeah. So I'm actually ASCOP president. ASCOP is our Associated Students of the University of Pacific. So it's like our student government, student leadership. And I've been involved with that my whole time at Pacific. I got started in the arts and entertainment section, which is the group who puts on the concerts and the events. So I did that for 2 years, and then I ran for president twice. I won my second time. So that's what I'm doing currently. And I love it. It connects me with students, it connects me with campus, and I've made a lot of friends through it. So I've really enjoyed that part of my Pacific experience.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think it is one of the things that distinguishes Pacific is we're big enough to have a lot of variety, a lot of different majors, a lot of different things people can do, small enough that you can get involved with a lot of those things. And it's not so difficult to be involved with student government or the pitch competition or other things. So Randi, last question for you. You were in folks' situation a few years ago. Any advice you have for people who are in in your shoes. Well, sorry, they're now looking at what they ought to do or what they might do for their college selection.
Yeah. I would say just do what is best for you. I know when I came onto Pacific's campus, I felt at home, I felt connected. And so that's why I chose Pacific. Other than like a big school, I knew Pacific had the hometown, like very connected feel. And I knew I would find my Pacific family, and I did. So I would just say, trust your gut and do whatever decision is right for you. When you pick that decision, it can never go wrong.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Well, thank you, Randi, for spending time with us. I'm glad everybody who has been able to join us and hear from you, get a chance to meet you and I. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Lisa, back to you.
Thank you, Dean Carroll. Thank you so much for that interview.